This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. In Egypt, at least 350 pro-Palestinian demonstrators were injured when Egyptian police violently crushed a protest outside the Israeli embassy in Cairo. Egyptian police reportedly fired live ammunition, tear gas grenades, rubber bullets at the crowd. The violence comes amidst a wave of protests sweeping the Arab world. We're joined by Democracy Now! Correspondent Sharif Abdel Kouddous in Cairo. Can you describe what happened Sunday, Sharif?
Well, Amy, let me just preface this with that since the toppling of Mubarak on February 11th, 2011, we've seen some changes on the foreign policy front by the post-Mubarak transitional government. And earlier this month, Egypt brokered a unity deal between Palestinian factions Hamas and Fatah. We also saw the former foreign minister, Nabil al-Arabi, who's become the new Secretary General of the Arab League, promised to open the Rafah border crossing. This has yet to happen. Egypt, of course, has been complicit in the siege of Gaza for the last 5 years. But I think many Egyptians and many Palestinians living in Egypt were very disappointed by the actions of the army and of the security forces for this Nakba anniversary. Thousands of people were planning to go actually to the border crossing, the Rafah border crossing in Sinai, to stand in solidarity with Palestinians. What the army did was prevent people from going. They created several checkpoints in Sinai, and they turned many people back. They even went so far as to close the Salem Bridge and the tunnel at the Suez Canal, which connects Sinai to mainland Egypt, and blocked hundreds of people from crossing into Sinai to get to the Rafah border crossing. One organizer even told me the army went so far as to cancel 30 buses that they had organized to ferry people into Sinai. So in response to that, thousands of people gathered on Sunday in front of the Israeli embassy in Giza. I was there along with Nicole Salazar. We were taping. It was a vigorous rally, but a peaceful one. We left, but later that evening, there was a violent clampdown. There was a lot of army soldiers there and a lot of central security soldiers there. And reportedly, some protesters pushed some of the barricades that was blocking the building of the embassy. In response, the army and central security forces used tear gas, a lot of tear gas, rubber bullets and live ammunition on the protesters. 2 people were shot, at least 2 were shot, one in the head, one in the abdomen. One of them is critically wounded. 137 people were arrested. They remain in detention and they're facing possible questioning by a military prosecutor. And what's even more troubling, Amy, that this violent crackdown came at a time of increasing lawlessness and a lack of security in the country. I mean, we saw on May 7th that the church attack, the sectarian attack in Mbaba, where 2 churches were burned, 15 people were killed, and more than 240 people were injured. There was no security forces to be found. In fact, a new report by the Egyptian Initiative for Personal Rights has found that police guarding the church in Mbaba fled when it came under attack. And the report claims that Salafis, that the police knew that Salafis were going to come and that violence would likely erupt, and they did nothing to prevent it. And we've also seen, well, those same Coptic protesters have staged a sit-in at the State TV building every day since that attack. That sit-in came under attack itself on Saturday night by Molotov cocktails and live ammunition as well. Nicole and I went and interviewed people the next day. They told us that state security forces were standing by and did nothing to protect them. So many here are very frustrated, and they wonder why the Army, the Supreme Council of the Armed Forces, and the security forces here can muster the efforts, cannot muster the effort to protect churches, to clamp down on crime, and to just simply enforce the law, but can turn out in overwhelming force and at a peaceful protest at the Israeli embassy. So many people say this is not what they fought for in the revolution.